Hey guys, one unavoidable aspect when tracking is dealing with tangled tracking lines. Whether it's caught around your dog, wrapped around a tree, or snagged under a car tire, how you deal with these situations can significantly impact the result of your track. Being prepared for these situations is essential to ensure your dog doesn't lose the track. So here are some common ways that your tracking line can become tangled and some effective ways to manage that situation. All right guys, so I've laid my track, I've got my dog. What I'm gonna show you now is how to deal with the single leg leash tangle. So the purpose of this training, I'm gonna set the dog up with that tangled leash, start the track, and then show you how to deal with that mid-track, okay? So this is gonna replicate what will happen to you on a actual track. So dog's tangled, I'm gonna set it up for a start of the track. So in my head, I'm on the track, I'm like, oh no, leash is tangled, I'm gonna wanna deal with this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put pressure on the line so the dog stops tracking. I'm gonna make my way up to the dog, hold the dog by the harness. From here, I'm gonna drop the lead and lift the dog's leg over the line and give the command to seek. And away she goes, minimum fuss. I'm not getting in a tug of war. I'm not getting in a tug of war with the dog because the more I stop the dog's forward progression during a track, the least likely I'm gonna have to get to the end of the track, okay? So you wanna try and make that process of untangling as clean as possible with minimum fuss. All right guys, so that first tangle, the single leg tangle, is probably the most common that you're gonna deal with. Doesn't take a lot for the dog to get in that position, okay? But that's also probably one of the most easy to deal with. What I'm gonna show you next is another form of tangle. This one's less common, but requires more urgent action because it's gonna affect the dog's ability to track more than the previous tangle. So the next tangle we're looking at is the cross-body tangle, and it's when the line goes under the dog all the way out and past the other side. So what that would look like is the tracking lines are tangled all the way like this, okay? And you can imagine your dog's tracking, it's not gonna go far, it's not gonna be as efficient in this method. So when I see this, alarm bells go off in my head saying, I need to deal with this tangle, and it's different. Okay, how you deal with this tangle is different to then how you deal with the single leg. So we're gonna look at the crossbody tangle now and show you how we deal with it. So I've got a track laid, I'm gonna go set it up and then we'll go through what you need to do. All right guys, so I've got my dog, I've laid my track, and now for the purposes of training, I've already got my dog in the crossbody tangle position. I'm gonna track for a few meters and then show you how to deal with this, okay? So I'm gonna give the dog command to seek, she's away. And you can tell it's affecting her ability to track. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a decision, I need to deal with this. So I'm gonna put pressure so she stops tracking. As I'm making my way up to her, I'm gathering all this line now, okay? So I wanna gather up all that line. So we've made our way up to her, hold her by her harness, pass the leash under, and then give her a command to seek. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Good. Good girl. So that tangle right there takes more effort to undo than the single leg. So we need to be able to multitask as we're making our way up to the dog to start gathering that line in so I can then just pass it underneath her. Once it's underneath her, I can give her the command to seek, and she's able to now track uninhibited by that lead being tangled around her body. All right guys, that brings us up to our next form of tangle. It is the infamous tree tangle. Quite often on bushland workshops, you'll come across this form of leash tangle. Why this is a problem is because when the lead's tangled around the tree, your dog can no longer move forward as efficiently or at all. So we need to have a way to effectively deal with this. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna set up a track that goes on the other side of this tree and have the dogs beginning with that tree tangle so I can show you how to effectively deal with that. All right guys, so I've set up the track and I've artificially made this tree tangle situation. What we're gonna have to look at here is the urgency to fix this, because right now, I mean, I can't really pull that leash and my dog around at the same time. So what I'm gonna have to do is a different approach. I'm gonna come up to my dog that's tangled, grab him by the harness, unclip the leash. From here, throw all the way around till the dog is free to move and not being inhibited by the tree. Once you're here, give your seek command again, seek, and away your dog goes. Good girl, Sabre. Good. So yeah, that tangle is probably the most technical tangle to work because you've got to hold your dog, unclip, and then unravel your lead from being tangled. But that method there is probably the quickest and least fuss way, most efficient way to get your dog free from that situation and continue on forward down the track. If you like what you just saw then, guys, and you want to learn more, keep a lookout for my next online course, Blueprint to Soft Surface Tracking, where we'll go through more ways to deal with tangles in a leash, as well as learn everything related to soft surface tracking. Until then, thank you very much and see you soon.